This is the Source Seeker Hour. I am your host, Baruti Carl Alexander. Thank everybody for joining us. A very important show in this day and time. All of them are important, but having a healthy immune system, I just went through a illness or sickness, and it was very important that my immune system worked. My immune system, well, I think I'm saying it right. Of course, I'm not a medical professional, but I went through a situation where I was hospitalized. Thank God I am almost back to normal, 100%. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the significance of your immune system, how to have a strong immune system. How are you damaging your immune system? I'm sure I was doing some things that could have been damaging. And we're going to talk about the things that help your immune system. Brother Vince, I would like for you to introduce yourself and just share with a little bit about with the audience of your background and what you do and how do you work on having a healthy immune system?
Okay, thank you, sir. My name is Vincent L. Gulley. I'm 57. As a matter of fact, I'll be 58 June 21st of this month. So I'm excited about that. On Facebook, my name is Vincent L. Gulley, and my hashtag that I live by now is called Feasting on Fitness for Life.
Let me say that loud for the audience. Feasting on Fitness for Life. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And really, truly, how I changed my life into, or shall I say, not my life, which is my life, my lifestyle. I had a tragic event that happened in my life now 4 years ago, which my brother passed away of congestive heart failure, May 21st, 2018. And when that happened, and my brother and I were very close. His birthday, June 20th, mine, June 21st. He was 2 years older than me. So when that happened, I looked at my mother, who now is 75, and I saw that she had to bury her firstborn son. So my oldest brother, my only brother, he was the oldest child, my mother's oldest child out of 5 kids. And when I saw the pain in her eyes and can't even express what she felt in her heart, I looked at my mother and I said, "You won't bury me. I'm going to bury you. That's the natural order of things." And then I still had to look at my lifestyle. My brother died because of his lifestyle. It wasn't for anything other than his lifestyle. And my lifestyle was somewhat similar to my brother's. And so I had to look at that and I said, well, if I want to live, what do I need to do? And I looked at that, and the thing I knew to do was to take my health as to be the most important thing that I have. And that's what I say, my health. When it comes to my health, I'm very selfish. That's more important than anything. And I say I'm selfish so that I can be selfless to be here for my family. But what good am I to anybody if I'm poor in health? What good am I to anybody if I'm weak in my body? So I had to first say, I have to do these things for me. And so I took on a lifestyle. And what you were saying about your immune system is the first thing I started attacking, or shall I say, I started building up, which is my immune system. And then I started doing some physical activities. I'm a runner. I'm a what I call an ultra marathon, a trail runner. Just on January 1st, as you know, sir, I just ran recently 75 miles, and that was to honor my grandmother and my mother. But so I started running 4 or 5 years ago. I always been pretty active, but I really took it to another level. And now I feel like I'm reversing my aging because of the energy that I have. And it's not just looking on the outside, but most definitely I take care of the inside. I do my Cmos, my elderberry, I juice, I take my vitamins, and I'm very careful about what I put in my body now, because this is my temple, and I do care about it more than I care about anything else, so that I can be here to enjoy everything else. So it's not about being, well, some people will say, stuck on yourself, which is a good thing if you want to live, be stuck on yourself, but in a very healthy way. And also, it's also the things that I put into my mind now, just stuff that I read, a lot of conversations I don't entertain anymore. A lot of places I don't go and entertain anymore because all of it plays a big part in who you are and how you see yourself and other people. Now I say be kind to everybody because to me, everyone, I see good in everybody. At least that's my attempt to see good and to speak kindly and well of other people because that's how I see myself now.
Super powerful. And I just want to give a shout out to how we met. Me and Brother Vince met in a whole different capacity. We were talking about how can we kind of find women to date and so forth. You might describe it differently, but the brother has transferred to a whole healthy outlook, and I'm sure it's helping you in all different aspects also. As you mentioned, your mind, your spirit, and everything. So I recognize that. Brother Coney, I want to come to you and talk about, I saw your bio. I saw that transition that you said you went through. You started getting off of fast food, then red meat. Share a little bit about that as you share your introduction.
So yeah, so I noticed that fast foods were one of the most things that we were most accessible to. After you go to the gym, on the way home, you're hungry, you can get anything you need to for about $2. 2-piece chicken, double cheeseburger. You can get a large fry, anything. So I started to notice, I wanted to take care of my body, so I started to actually notate everything that I was eating and what it did for me. So when I went to the gym, in a few days, I was eating Papa John's every day after the gym, and I didn't ever see any progress. Mind you, I'm running at least a mile a day, but I'm still eating an entire piece. So then I thought about what was a calorie deficit. Calorie deficit is one of the main things that I like to teach my clients about, because if you really want to,
share with everybody your personal trainer also.
Yes, sir. I am a personal trainer. And so that is what I do. So I'm a personal trainer, and I like to help my clients with their nutritional style as well. I'm not a nutritionist, but I am trying to get certified to be one. So I like to try things for myself.
Froze up a little
started
bit.
off, I didn't want to tell anyone to do anything that I couldn't do.
All right, sounds good. I'd like to go to Sister Camille, the Houston Moss Queen. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry I'm late.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I'm glad you made it. Share with everybody who you are and what is the significance that you see in what you do as your product, Moss, and how does it help the immune system?
Yes, so my name is Camille Chate. I graduated from Fairview A&M University with a chemical engineering degree. I currently have my own business as the Houston Cmos Queen. Cmos has 92 minerals of the 102 that the body is composed of. So because it has so many benefits, it helps fill in the gaps to our nutritional poor diets. So therefore, stuff like potassium helps reduce swelling and inflammation. So therefore, it helps with the immune system, as well as helping out your lymph nodes and just kind of clearing things out, as well as other benefits, but mostly the immune system, inflammation, mucus removal. Those are kind of two of the biggest things that I'm aware of that really kind of wreak havoc on our health as well as our immune system. So helping those two alone goes a long way, as well as all the minerals.
Thank you, my sister. This is our 102nd episode, and we're very glad to have everybody here to talk about this important subject. Share with us and introduce yourself, Dr. Deepak. Your video is not on. I mean, your audio is not on. There you go.
Okay, sorry about that. So I'm an optometrist. I'm an optometric glaucoma specialist. I'm a therapeutic optometrist. So we do eye care, pediatric all the way up to geriatric. I am a heritage yoga instructor. I've been teaching yoga along with my wife for a little over 30 years. I teach Hinduism and spirituality. I do speak at temples and churches on Hinduism and the parallels between the different religions, and on spirituality. And I'm also a black belt in Taekwondo. So I do take care of myself.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much. I just want to give a shout out to where I met Dr. Deepak in the studio. When we were in the studio, we had a show about spirituality and about God. And I asked him to come on there and share with us about Hinduism. And we had a very good discussion. And I appreciate that you came today. Thank you very much. Dr. Echols, how are you?
Yes. Good
I
evening.
want to, of course, have you introduce yourself, but bring us into what is an immune system? What does it do in our body? Share with us. We don't know nothing about an immune system. What is an immune system?
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Sabrina Echols Sampson. I am a family medicine and emergency room specialist here in Houston, Texas. I've been a medical doctor for over 22 years now. And so if there's anything, this topic is really near and dear to my heart because I've been fighting on the front line for over the last 2.5 years with COVID. I actually take care of COVID patients. So what I want to say is that if there's anything I've learned during this pandemic is that we are probably the most unhealthy population in the world. Let me repeat that. We are probably the most, I'm just speaking in general, collectively, we're probably the United States of America. We're the most unhealthy population. The immune system is a very complex network in your body. God created your body. God created the most wonderful immune system for you to actually fight off infections. So every organ in your body has a function. You can't actually see your immune system. It's invisible to the naked eye, but we actually can take blood tests. We can check your blood work to check what you've heard before, white blood cell count. You heard your doctor said, what's your red blood cell count? You heard a lot during COVID about antibodies, but that's not just that's just the surface of it. The immune system is very complex and it involves not only your lymph system, your spleen. Everybody has a spleen unless it's removed for some reason or another. It involves your tonsils. It involves your lymph vessels and your bone marrow, okay? And so your baby cells, your red blood cells, your white blood cells come from your bone marrow. You actually can't touch your bone marrow. It's in the middle of your bone. And a lot of people don't know that this is like extremely important in developing and maintaining a healthy immune system. You're actually born with a great immune system, the innate, we call it the innate immune system versus the adaptive immune system. And so as we get older, the innate immune system decreases and your adaptive immune system as you get older should grow stronger.
You said it's an innate, how do you spell that?
The innate is I-N-N-A-T-E.
Oh, innate. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Innate. And it's a network of, for example, if a virus or a bacteria come in your body, It will trigger maybe your B lymphocytes. Your B lymphocytes will go and create antibodies to recognize that virus, recognize that bacteria, recognize that parasite or fungus. T cells, you have what you call natural killer cells. You actually, God created your body to kill off everything that is illegal that tries to come in your body.
Exactly.
And they're called natural killer cells, where they actually, kill off even cancer cells, okay? And so what we've seen during the pandemic is that many people that had severe disease that ended up in the ICU on the ventilator, or many people that died, had very, very poor immune systems. Their vitamin D level is one test and one area that we could check. We could check a vitamin D level. And many of the pulmonologists have researched that the vitamin D as in David, the vitamin D level is very, very low. And so, we get our vitamin D from the sun. And so God created the sun, and that exposure to the sun actually can really help you fight off diseases. We did not know at the beginning of the pandemic that vitamin D would help fight off COVID. We did not know. So we're like 2 years later now, 2.5 years later. And so what I've done primarily is really help people keep their blood sugars balanced, keep their blood pressure, decrease the inflammation in their body. And like everything everybody said, having a well-balanced meals, get off of fast foods. It will kill you. It will kill your immune system, decrease your alcohol intake, get that immune system pumping and protecting you the way God created it to do.
Yes, ma'am. Brother Vince, I want to ask you, if it's not too personal, what are some of the things you used to do that you don't do and you changed up? What are some of the things you used to do that you don't do anymore and you living more healthy?
Well, the major thing I did was drink. And when I say drink, vodka was my drink, and I drank that to an abundance. I always thought, because I looked halfway decent on the outside, that everything was good. But I soon realized that was not good for me. So, but what I did though, I got smart, or I thought I got smart. I went from drinking just regular vodka to drinking organic vodka, thinking that was going to be better for me. Then I started putting water in my vodka. But the mindset was there to start changing. And then one day I just woke up and realized that it wasn't any good for me. And I like what the doctor said, because I often say this on Facebook and just in general when I'm talking to other people, that the body will heal itself if you treat it right. I truly believe that the earth has everything that we need to heal the body, but you got to be willing to go to those resources and take those resources in. And that's what I've done. And that's what I continue to do. And I share that with other people. And I talk a lot about my age, not in a boastful way, but to let people know that it's possible for you as well. So it's no such thing as we too old, it's too late.
It is harder though. It is harder than when we were 30 or 40. We do have to say that. I know it's harder for me. It's harder for me, but you got to have a mindset. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, I hear you, because at the age of 57, the key thing is the mindset. You have to say that my life depends on it. That's how important it is to me. It's just like when I used to club and party, nothing got in the way of me going to a party. The rain didn't stop me, the snow didn't stop me, the hot sun didn't stop me. I was there. So just like I did that with enthusiasm, full of passion, I do this with the same enthusiasm and same passion. It just shifted to me now to where I can be, excuse me, so I can be here for my family. So I have to first do all I can for me so that I can do all I can for them. But that's nothing more important. And here's the thing though, Carl, we have to stop making excuses. I run in the rain, I run in the snow. You see my posting. It does not matter. The only thing I do not run in is when it's lightning. But other than that, it doesn't matter about how hot it is, how cold it is. I ran in the cold to the point that my sweat froze to icicles on my face, and I got pictures of that. So it doesn't, but it felt so good. It didn't hurt me. And that's what I share with people. It does not hurt. It makes you stronger, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually as well.
Peace and power. That's a powerful statement. Brother Coney. Brother Coney, are you there? Okay. Well, let me come back to you, brother. Let me come back to you when you get settled. Sister Camille, explain to us about how the moss helps. How can the moss help our immune system?
Yes, so going back to the mucus removal and the inflammation is the biggest thing. I know Dr. Sabi, if a lot of people know him, he was like a self-taught doctor from Honduras who actually won a case against the US for curing people with AIDS. So, you know, he kind of really knew his stuff, and he talks about mucus and pretty much, you know, our diet. So meats, including poultry and fish, sugars, starches, dairy, all that produce a lot of pus and mucus in the body. And an accumulation of that pus and mucus is what causes us issues, illnesses, discomfort, which is dis-ease, you know, diseases. So trying to cut that out of your diet, which I know is it's challenging for most of us because we are used to our American diets, but Victor, correct?
Vincent?
Vincent, I'm sorry. Like Vincent said, changing your diet, your mindset, you know, and making sure that you're putting in the right things really goes a long way. So drinking that water, eating more plants and vegetables and fruits where you're getting electrons into your body, you know, living things, because you are a living being, you know, so you need living organisms, vitamins in your body to propel you and have fuel. So if you can't do that, Cmos is there to help get rid of some of that mucus, you know, to get that inflammation down, as well as helping your bones, your joints. I believe it has vitamin D in it as well. So and then it gives you energy. So a lot of people complain of weight loss, and we know weight loss does lead to a lot of things. So you having more energy and not just a spike in energy such as coffee, but kind of getting those minerals in, it causes you to have more energy. It causes your mood to be better. And then you're able to, you know, probably work out more, just have a positive outlook, because stress, you know, can add to decreasing the immune system and making you sick. So just all around, just getting that mucus out, helping with inflammation, giving you what you need, helping pick you up. Because a lot of my clients talk about how much better they feel just within like a week or 3 days on taking the Cmos. So if you feel better, you look better, and you do better, you know? So just kind of.
Most definitely. Are most of your clients, are they vegetarians or a combination of both things? Is some eat fish, some eat some meats, or are they a combination?
Yeah, so it's pretty much a combination. I have the people who are already, you know, taking supplements, working out. I have some people who like really work out, look like bodybuilders. And then you have people who, you know, they've had scares. Like I had a lot of people who had been in the hospital and they are overweight and they are obese, but they want to turn their life around, you know? So people with diabetes, people with MS, people with immune system deficiencies, all types of thyroid, a lot of people with hypothyroidism, just coming and looking for a more natural and healthy way because they're tired of taking all the they're tired of taking all the medication, so they're trying to turn their life around, eat better, and just kind of, you know, decrease the amount of side effects they could potentially have. So I feel like it's either people that are already on track or people who haven't been. They've heard about CMOS, or friends have told them. I get a lot of coworkers and friends saying like, you know, I was talking to my coworker and I was struggling with this and struggling with this, and I've heard great things. I'd like to try it.
Sounds powerful, sounds powerful. Dr. Deepak, obesity and overweight, I know they have an impact on the immune system. And then comment on, we are the most unhealthy country in the world.
Okay, there's basically different components that I want to look at. So obesity, when you have obesity, you're going to have a lot of problems, such as diabetes, such as high blood pressure, such as arthritis, such as other inflammatory diseases. And some of these things will lead to bleeding in the retina, in the back of the eyes, and will cause vision damage, will cause vision loss, sometimes permanent, and sometimes requiring injections into the eye, which can be quite painful and quite expensive. So, you know, and then there's a book that I want to bring up that for many of my patients has been life-changing. It's a long read, but it's called The China Study. And the China Study.
Say that again, please.
The China Study.
Oh, the China Study. Okay.
That's the name of the book. And basically it's written by a Dr. Campbell, who used to work for the US Department of Agriculture. And he, in a nutshell, was hired to raise the protein content in American diets. And he did so with meat. And years and decades later, he sees that the impact of this was completely negative. And he went back and did some experiments and traveled the world, especially to India and to China. And he found that when populations consume plant-based diets, they're healthier, and the chronic diseases basically go away. I'm a plant-based, I'm 100% plant-based, and I'm part of the Vegan Physicians Network in Houston. We basically have several other physicians that we refer to. There's a particular cardiologist that I send patients to frequently, and you know, with patients with chronic diseases, diabetes, obesity, and so forth, that he puts them on a 100% plant-based diet. I mean, it's not weaning yourself off. It's like he does that right away. And he tells them basically, look, do you want to live, or do you want to live as a paralyzed, stroked, you know, handicapped individual, or do you want to die? You know, kind of like Vince said, it takes a certain mindset, and he gives you that mindset in no uncertain terms. And he puts everybody on plant-based diets. And, you know, we work with him, and, you know, through eye care and so forth, through yoga and other intervention. And patients, even with chronic diseases, in 3 to 4 years, 86% of the patients are able to get off their medications, which is amazing, which is absolutely phenomenal. In the book, The China Study, Dr. Campbell realizes that America, USA, is probably the most unhealthy country on the planet because we have diseases of excesses. We have too much fast food, not enough exercise, not enough fresh air, not enough nutrition, not enough social interaction. We're not communal, we're more individual, we're not generational or multi-generational societies. We put our elders in nursing homes rather than learn the wisdom from them. There's just so many components that go into an immune system. It's amazing. But in a nutshell, you know, I look at 5 different components to an immune system. One is physical. How do you make yourself physically better? And it starts with the gut. What you are what you eat. So if you eat right, your inflammation is going to start to reduce. And Vince and the Cmos Quinn have already spoken to this. Mental, you know, our fight or flight hormones, our stress, the constant levels of stress, you know, our hormones, catabolic hormones will always be up, and our fight or flight hormones are elevated during stress periods. And we as Americans are constantly stressed. So we're not going to get healthy. If to the contrary, we're going to continue to get worse and worse. Emotional, you know, what do we have that makes our emotions a lot better, makes us more peaceful? Social, we want to look at family and social constructs. What do we have that breeds more stability and therefore reduces our overall stress? Because this impacts the immune system directly. And then the last part of this is spiritual. you know, your spiritual foundation is going to make you a much more peaceful person. And if you're like Vince said, if you have kindness and compassion, and it's got to be genuine, come from the heart. If you're a giving, caring person and you're able to genuinely help people, that comes back, you know, tons over, many times over. And if you go to sleep tonight and don't wake up tomorrow and you're okay with that, you have basically arrived. And so these 5 facets of life will contribute greatly to the immune system. And so we have a lot of work to do.
I want to say this. All those 5 things, physical, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, are all under assault in America from a super media system that puts images in your mind, and you see the commercial of McDonald's and you want a Big Mac, you know, and it's not so easy to be able, you really got to have a strong discipline like Vince was talking about, but so many people have so many situations that you got to have a good support system to get there and be able to fight against that super media system to get to these particular things. Dr. Echols, what do you say about that?
Dr. Deepak, you were about to say something about that?
I stopped watching television other than just quick headlines about 8 to 10 years ago, and it's the best thing I did. I don't read the newspapers other than what's important to my direct patient care. I read up on the medical journals, my eye care journals, my yoga journals, and nutrition and so forth, and I concentrate on the difference that I can make, what I can contribute. And I turn off things that I no longer can control. So I don't watch the news. I don't let it bother me anymore. And that's the best advice that I can give to someone is turn off the news. It doesn't help.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sounds powerful. Dr. Echols.
I agree. I wanted to add, Dr. Deepak was talking about the stress in the body and how different chronic diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, chronic rheumatoid arthritis, asthma. There's so many conditions that can increase inflammation in the body. And what we also compounded on that is your mental health. And so we came out of May, Mental Health Month. May is the Mental Health Month. I just did a talk on mental health. And so on top of the physical issues that we're facing, we also have a big part of the mental health, the stress, the chronic, especially stress after stress, compound stress, chronic stress can destroy your immune system. There's so many studies out to show that actually it attack your own antibodies, attack your own tissues, your own cells. So you can take all the vitamins you want. You can take all the Cmos and everything. But if you're under, like the people that's, say for example, war in Ukraine, chronic stress, separation anxiety, over and over and over, with no relief, then you actually turn on your own cells. And this is called auto-destruction. And that's what we even saw in COVID. We saw something that we've never seen, where COVID activated your immune system to fight it because it's a virus, but it also activated one of the cytokines, a natural killer cell called interleukin-6. We could test all of this. We could do a blood test to test your inflammatory rate. It's called an ESR. We could take your blood and check your inflammatory rate. Your doctor can do that. We could check IL-6, which is called interleukin-6. And what shocked us was that interleukin-6, which is supposed to kill, tumor cells and things like that in your body, it actually was destroying people's own lung tissue. Those that were with COVID in the ICU on a ventilator. And so it was actually like it actually ignited a whole different interleukin 6 to do something that we never thought it would do, was attack its own tissue. Because of what? Because of the inflammation. Because of the inflammation, not only are you dealing with COVID, but you're dealing with high blood sugars, you're dealing with blood clots, you're dealing with, hypertension, heart disease, And so I really stress the fact with those that are having chronic stress, which can lead to depression, which can lead to anxiety, to start to have a lifestyle change. That, you incorporate a routine, like you wake up every morning, you wash your face, you brush your teeth. So you got to do some walking, you got to do some exercise, you got to do something that's going to reduce this inflammation in your body. People are stressed out. People are losing their jobs. Some people that are working from home, when they tell me I'm working from home, I know I have to look for inflammation. I know I have to go deeper on them because they're not moving. They're not walking when they're like, oh, I'm so glad my company sent me to work from home. But with doctors here that they don't feel the same way. They're like, you used to park and ride, used to walk to work, used to walk over the bridge, used to walk around the corner. I'm talking about walking at least 15, 20 minutes a day is going to decrease those stress hormones. Cortisol is going to enhance your immune system, and over time, it's going to decrease those chronic disease process that Dr. Deepak was talking about, where people actually can come off of medication. I'm really, really big on people coming off of medication, coming off of insulin. You were not designed to take insulin for the rest of your life. That's not the way God designed your body. And so I have taken people off of insulin. They were very disciplined. They were very enthusiastic about following a regimen of portion control, and diet, healthy foods, and really walking. I love walking, because it helps your mental health, it helps your emotions. It just being out in the sun for a little bit helps your vitamin D. You get melatonin. A lot of people didn't know that we didn't know that melatonin was helping people at the beginning of COVID. If they would start to, they did a research. Why are all these people doing so much better on melatonin that have COVID? Because melatonin was helping to fight COVID. We didn't even know that at the beginning of this pandemic. So that's what I focus on, is helping people to get in a routine to help deal with your stress, because you're always going to have stress. I call it, you're going to have good stress, you're going to have bad stress. But too much bad stress can kill you, literally telling you, it can elevate your blood pressure, and you could drop dead of a stroke or a heart attack in a matter of a second.
True.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I want to go back to that issue of the society that we live in, because the overwhelming thing that we said was the U.S. is a very unhealthy country. And Dr. Deepak said, turn off the TV. To a certain extent, not everybody can do that because they may not be in a situation where, they control the TV and so forth. And across the board, it's not as simple unless you can get to your own mindset of, I want to live more healthy. I mean, even with the TV on, if you can get into that mindset, I want to live more healthy, because you can't always control the TV. You can't always control what is all around you. Just like I'm a teacher in a classroom, I may have 5 students cutting up, but that doesn't necessarily mean the 6th student has to cut up. He can still be disciplined as long as they're not touching him. He can still be disciplined and do what he's supposed to do. So that is the difficult process that we live with in America. But if we can have more healthy conversations and more people taking after that, we can do a better job. I got to mention myself. I just went through a physical problem where I had to be hospitalized. I'm gonna share this. I had a double seizure. I had a stroke. They said maybe these things were brought on by a case of pneumonia, but I was trying to compensate for the stress by not living healthy and not doing all the things. I was utilizing vices. When I say vices, I mean smoking, I mean drinking, to try to get through the day and try to keep up with everything that I was doing. I'm overweight. I've lost some weight now, but it's still a process. I share with Vince back and forth. Hey, Vince, I got in 4 today. I got in 2 today. And see, Vince is my inspiration. I'm gonna keep trying, Vince. I'm gonna keep fighting, Vince. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna try to get there.
You will.
Try to do it. Because I want to be here too, Vince. I want to be here for my kids.
Yes.
I want to be here. It's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, my mind can get distracted, but I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to fight all of these different things that come into play. I cut the TV off more and more, but I do have a daughter in the house who wants to watch the TV. So I still got to be disciplined even though the TV is on. So it's so much going on. Brother Coney, you still there? Talk to me about how are you fighting this mindset? How are you getting there? Brother Coney, you still there? I guess, okay, go ahead, brother. How are you fighting that mindset? How are you dealing with all of these distractions and things to maintain your discipline to live better? You're on mute. You're on mute.
So a personal testimony of mine, you know, one of my roommate, he was a personal chef, and all he cooked was meat. Everything that I couldn't eat, he was cooking. And that's around the time that I transitioned into, you know, cutting out all red meats and going pescatarian, and then on towards that vegan. So he was the reason that I got so disciplined, because I had to wake up in the morning and I had to, you know, turn my head. I couldn't eat the breakfast that he was cooking. During lunch, I couldn't eat everything that my friends were cooking. And I made it a thing because my clients, they wanted to know exactly what works. And I didn't know, so I had to try it on me first. And because it paid the bills, it stuck. And that's the reason that I got so into it and so dedicated, because it became a part of my growth and it became a part of me making ends meet. So taking care of my body was also me taking care of my bills. And that's what I just feel like, you know, mentally, you make smarter decisions whenever you start to cut out other things that, you know, those, you know, certain things as, you know, animals, they bleed into you, and you sometimes can get your thinking can get clogged, you know? You sometimes can't always make the decision that you want to as if you would when you had, you know, I don't want to always influence people to go vegan, but I always want them to try different things. You know, try eating your favorite foods for a week, and then try not eating your favorite foods for a week. Notate exactly how you're thinking, because I don't like to tell anyone this is what you should eat, but I would like to suggest everyone that you should try it, you know, for a few days. If you like to eat chips and you know that when you get out of work, you have a favorite fast food place that you like to go to, make it a thing and make that a fast. that you can't go to that fast food for those 7 days. And notate how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Notate your energy when you're playing with your kids, when you're at school, when you're at work. You'll definitely feel, you know, your pros will weigh out the cons, most definitely. So that's just one of the things that that's how I transitioned. That's how I became so dedicated. It just, you know, I start thinking more clearly when I started to eat better. And you don't want to go backwards. You don't want to reverse, you know? So it's no point of reversing. You know, sometimes, yeah, I had cheat meals, but after a while, I cut out my cheat meals because I didn't want to go 6 days straight doing great just to knock it all back on one day, you know?
I totally understand. I want to get there, and I'm trying. I'm gonna continue to try. Sister Camille, you've heard all of this about healthy eating and so forth. What is your perspective on the future of where this is going? Do you think more and more people are going to try to eat healthy, or more and more people going to try to take in Cmos, or what is the future of the diet or your circle of people?
So I feel like a lot more people are becoming aware of Cmos. Like when I first started in the pandemic, it was kind of more people who already were into the holistic lifestyle. They knew what it was. A lot of other people would come up and they'd say, "What's that?" You know, and I'd say, "It's algae, you know, it's from the Caribbean." They would turn up their nose and say, "Oh no, I'm not, you're supposed to eat it." And then now more people are aware. They're like, "Oh, I've heard of this," or "Oh, my friend was just telling me about this." "Oh, I've seen it here, I've seen it there." So they're picking up on it. So I do feel, especially with COVID and all the scares and all the information floating around, that people are realizing that, hey, I do need to make a change in my diet. Hey, I do need to exercise more. I do need to drink more water. And I did want to add on the topic of like lifestyle and stress, if you don't mind, because it's something that,
yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
so that's something I focus on. One of the biggest, like Melanated Ascension, is kind of like my original LLC, which is pretty much working with, which is something to come, but like traumas, you know, I don't think we take an effect enough of childhood traumas, things that's happened to us in the US as far as our history, slavery, you know, pretty much our ancestors were enslaved, and then, you know, they were treated horribly, and then no one was there to like tell them how to change that habit, you know, to take that stress and that pain away. So then they had children and taught their children, and that's passed down, and we still have a lot of habits from that time period. So therefore it's a lot of yelling, a lot of anger, a lot of pain still in our families. And making sure that you address that in your adulthood, as far as getting rid of your own, as well as trying to be better for your children, is important, because we are a product of our environment. And I do like to think of people as plants. And it's like, if you have a plant, if you speak positivity into that plant will be more abundant and it'll grow and have stronger roots. But if you put a plant into a room that doesn't have a lot of light, so you're talking about vitamin D, if you talk to your plant with negativity and it doesn't have a place to thrive, it's not going to be the same. And you see that in people all the time, as far as the environments where they grew up in. And I feel like the US, they lead us with fear, you know, and fear, along with, you know, all the other things, is really wreaking havoc on our bodies. Because someone mentioned like fight or flight, like you're always in a state of fight or flight, whether it's family stressing you out, bills stressing you out, trying to compete, because comparison is the thief of joy. So you have social media and everyone's trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you're not able to focus on yourself. So you're always in a state of shock and panic. And then, as well as, I feel a lot of people listen to respond instead of listen to understand. And I feel like a common thread for all people is they just want to be heard. And when people are always talking at you, instead of trying to understand your perspective, instead of trying to assume they know you because you might remind them of this person, or they just feel that everyone in their circle thinks this way, that can cause a lot of, you know, hurt. And you walking around not feeling understood and feeling like, you know, this is just how life is supposed to be. I'm just supposed to do this and this. It really affects the body. So I really feel like learning how to not take things personal, and just trying to see the positive in everybody. I feel like because of the way this society has moved, we've lost essentially spirit and God is love, and we don't share a lot of love with one another. So therefore you have a lot of hate, you have a lot of anger, you have a lot of pain, and that just, it's like it can change your energy from like 100 to 0 in seconds. And I don't think we put enough effort and focus on that alone, because I feel like I was a stress eater. And when I have stress, I eat a lot. And when I don't have stress, I drop weight. And then I can gain it within weeks. And it's just getting rid of stress alone. Like, I don't feel the need to have comfort foods, right? Because a lot of people go to comfort foods or whatever advice they have because they didn't get that love and those type of things to mitigate running to something that's unhealthy. So therefore, when they feel panic and stress, I got to go to my vice. And it's just like, this makes me, what is it? Not endorphins, but it releases dopamine. Is that dopamine levels to like help you calm down? So therefore, you need that, right? You have the dopamine. It's like reward system. You just keep on every time you feel it. You just keep doing it. And it's just like, get rid of the root. And the root is the stress. So look at life and see, like, when I do turn to these items, what are these triggers? And then working on those triggers to get down to the root and just seeing, like, is it the people I'm around? Is it my job? Is it me? Am I taking things personal? Am I feeling like I need to save the world? We need to really allow ourselves grace and to be the love that we expect from one another. Like, if you can't love yourself unconditionally, then you don't know what love looks like from other people. You don't know what hate looks like from other people because you're looking outside of yourself. So taking that time to really dig and find that love. Like, at one point in my journey, I started singing all the love songs to myself. And if I couldn't sing the love songs to myself, then there was an issue, because I should have that much love to where I can do that. And when I do that, I'm allowed to give myself grace, because especially millennials, we grew up, we have an issue with always trying to succeed. Like, nothing's ever good enough. It's just like, I get this degree, I get another degree. Then when I get this degree, I get another degree. And then it's like, okay, I'm making this much money, I need to make this much money. And just like, you never stop. And going back to US being the most unhealthy, it's because of that. Like, we do not know how to relax. You can talk to any other country and they're like, Americans, they don't know how to be. You don't know how to just sit, be still, peace, be still, or nothing. And that goes a long way, because I feel like when you do that, your diet gets better, you feel better, you're able to like relax and recharge. And I mean, the list goes on, but I just want to share that because being kind really goes a long way. Understanding people, being a listening ear, allowing yourself grace, stop being your biggest critic, and know that failure is okay. And it's good to fail, because if you don't fail, how can you know what success looks like? How can you know what works and what doesn't work? So embrace it and just, love on yourself and say it's okay,
Totally understand. Sister Camille, we are at the end of our show, but I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to make a statement and share how people could contact you. Go ahead and start, Sister Camille, and share with the audience how they can contact you and make your final statement.
Okay, well, I want to thank you again for allowing me on the show. I really do enjoy it. It's great to hear like minds and just get information from everyone, because 2, 3, 4, 5 heads are better than one. So different perspectives are always appreciated. As far as my business, it's Houston Cmos Queen. I have my own business card right here. Houston Cmos Queen. That's Facebook and Instagram. My phone number is 832-308-0027. I keep product downtown in 3rd Ward at a resale shop. I do local pickups during the week, and I ship and deliver.
Sister Camille, the Houston Cmos Queen. Very thankful for you to be on the show. We appreciate it very much. Brother Vince, you had something you wanted to say.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, I want to say to you, Carl, that I'm going to forever be cheering for you, rooting you on, because there's no such thing as can't. I'm very careful the words that I speak because those words have power. And so the words I use are the word impossible. I look at the word and I see the word as I'm possible. So many people have done it before me that showed me that it is humanly possible. So, and that's one of the things I tell people, that you can do anything if it's humanly possible that any other person have done. You may have to work a little harder. You may have to put in a little bit more time, but you most definitely can do it. So being healthy and fit is for all of us. There's no one should ever feel like they have to be sick. No one should ever feel like they have to be on some type of prescribed medication. The earth has everything the body needs to heal, if only you choose to do it. That's it. You have to choose to get outside your comfort zone. So I don't have a comfort zone. There's nothing when the Cmos Queen and everybody that spoke, people told me about different things. And like the brother said earlier, I tried it on myself first to make sure before I spoke about it to somebody else. And I tell people, walking 25 to 30 minutes a day will change your life. But you got to be willing to do it. You got to put down the excuses, because we all have them, and just go to work. That's it. Go to work. It don't take much. You don't have to buy no expensive gym membership. You don't have to buy no special equipment, no special clothing. Just get out and start walking with a purpose. And the purpose is that you want to live. And if you want to live, you do what's necessary. And that's what I say, by all means necessary. There's nothing that I won't do to help me be a healthier, better version of myself. And once again, it's not about finances. It has nothing to do with that. My quality of life has everything to do with my health above all else. Because if I have that, then perhaps the other things of life that I want to enjoy, I can attain. But without health, but without being healthy and fit, totally, everything else is just a struggle.
Peace and power, my brother. Share how people can reach you if you would like.
Yes, Facebook, Vincent L. Gulley. That's basically it. I'm there on it. And I tell people, I will come and meet you where you are. I've traveled different places to get people started. And I'm not a trainer. I call myself a mentor or coach. And it's not about making money. I want us to live and do whatever I have to do to encourage people to live.
Thank you, my brother. Brother Coney, share with people, first of all, what did you think of the program? And share with people how they can reach you, and your final word, whatever you would like to say.
Yeah, I'm always appreciative when you guys invite me. You know, I'm the youngest one out here, so you guys, I'm always learning from y'all. Anything y'all say, I know a lot, but I'm still taking my notes. So if you do like to reach me on Facebook, that's at Julian Paul, and same thing for Twitter. My email is julianpconey@yahoo.com. You can send me an email if you're interested in just learning anything new, just talking to me about anything. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Send me a message.
Thank you very much. You're inspirational too, brother. I saw your bio. You went through the steps and so forth. I'm trying to still do what you did.
Message me if you need me.
Dr. Deepak, share your message, your final word, what you would like to say to the audience.
Brother Baruti, I've known you for a while, and I have nothing but respect for you. You can do this.
Thank you.
And I'm here if you ever need to talk or need any kind of advice. And like Vince said, there's no such thing as cannot do it. It can be done. I want to leave you with two thoughts. One is that America is where it's at in terms of health and so forth because of greed. Let me just cut it down. You know, the Harvard study, the marshmallow study, where kids were given one marshmallow and said, wait 15 minutes, I'll be back. And if you don't eat the marshmallow, I'll give you two. You know, that's instant gratification versus delayed gratification. We want instant gratification, especially the younger generation. And if we can put that gratification off for a longer period of time, for a greater purpose, for greater benefit, it's going to behoove us and we're going to become healthier. So there's no such thing as cannot. It just has to be planned out and done. Second, I want to leave you with thoughts. You know, being healthy is a choice. Being miserable is a choice. Being happy is also a choice. So choose wisely. People can reach me at my email, iguru@msn.com. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram. I don't take private clients anymore, but I'm happy to share whatever I can whenever I can.
Thank you very much, Dr. Deepak. And we have known each other now a while, maybe going on 3 years, maybe. So very blessed to know you, and thank you very much. Dr. Echols, final word.
Yes.
Give us the
Yes.
final word.
Thank you so much.
Healthy immune system and trying to live better.
Thank you so much again for inviting me. I'm just so grateful to see you. And during the time you were in the hospital, we were praying for you.
Thank you.
And God answered our prayers. And so we'll continue to pray, just like Dr. Deepak. You know, if you need to talk or you want, you know, any questions about anything, you can, you know, always reach out to me and call me. But I'm just so focused now on what I call Operation Defense System. That's what I wrote down that I'm focused on right now, Operation Defense System. And what every country has a major defense system in the natural. And so my Operation Defense System is helping people have a lifestyle change in order to decrease the mental, emotional, physical stress, because we are body, soul, and spirit. And so just like Houston Cmos Queen was saying, that there are roots, there are emotional and mental roots that can trigger physical illnesses. And so we have to get to the bottom of that. And I'm all about you in boosting up and having like the best, the number one. Every country in the world talks about their defense system. Even America. America's supposed to have a number one defense system. What about you? What about your mind? What about your mental, your emotional? Is it at its best? You know, is it superior? And so I'm really about boosting up your immune system, getting out there, get a little sun, get some vitamin D, get a little melatonin, you know, well-round meals, sleeping well, getting enough sleep at night, because, you know, decreasing the amount of sleep, which is, as far as doctors and nurses and all those that's been fighting on the front line, we have to really work on that. We don't sleep a lot, and that can affect our immune system. But, you know, exercising, walking, a lifestyle change. That's what it's all about. It's about a lifestyle change. And we as providers, to help you maintain it, to help you to maintain, not to judge, but to help you to maintain it. So I can be found at Butterfly Wellness here in Stafford, Texas. And the office number is 281-969-5601. I'm on the website, drsabrina.butterfly.com. I'm on Facebook and also Instagram. But it's best for you, if you need me, you know, call me. So
Thank you very
thank
much.
you so much again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. This has been a blessing. A lot of knowledge, a lot of inspiration. I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to be able to be here after what I went through. I have a new perspective. I go by the scripture now that says, while there's light, do all you can, because there will come a day when there is no more light. And I'm trying to do the best I can and do as much as I can, but maintaining a healthy lifestyle and not letting too much stress in, not letting things get to me too much. I'm trying to live by all of those principles. And the Sourceseeker Hour, this is our 112th episode, and we've been through a lot, and I've been through a lot, and I'm blessed to still be able to bring the Sourceseeker Hour to you. Our next episode is a poetry episode. So if you get a chance, those out there in the audience, we are going to have the metaphysics of nature, the metaphysics of nature, poems about nature, essays about nature, and that's going to be in 2 weeks, June 16th. We look forward to that. That'll be episode 113. We do a lot of different kinds of shows on the Sourceseeker Hour. Keep checking us out. I'm Baruti Carl Alexander. Is there a last word that somebody wants to say before we go? Thank you all, everybody. Thank you very much. And we will see you next time on the Sourceseeker Hour.